Since the beginning of time, people have had the human need to belong. A need for a sense of community, heritage, faith, and home. The earliest wars were fought for the homeland. And no matter how technologically advanced we become, human nature will long to ultimately rest in the soil of our origins. Our nation, America, set a precedent for what home means. Ruled over by a tyrant king 4,000 miles away, one lone patriot, Thomas Paine, rallied his countrymen to break from English rule and build a nation of their own. That war for independence proved to all who would follow that the people that carved out a country in this new world were a new breed of nationalist. They were fiercely loyal to their land, immovable from their values, accepting of all who arrived to aid in their success, but devastating to those who attempted to cause her harm. They were forever unwavering in their determination to leave their legacy for those to come to preserve. Every era of our building has seen one lone patriot become the catalyst for an ever greater attainment of our destiny, to be the beacon of hope and freedom to a world that has been secretly prevented from realizing its own sovereign independence. Legacy is built on traditions, built on the shared sense of identity of people in a community, in their land. For this reason, we cannot ever become a global community without every individual losing their foundation. We confuse culture with ideology, people with politics. Not so long ago, we were respectful and curious about other cultures. We wanted to share them. We longed to travel far and wide to their home to experience them. But we didn't want to sacrifice ours. We never imagined we'd be forced by a misguided faction that told us we were horrible people for wanting to preserve our heritage. No one ever asked us if we wanted to be a global citizen. No one asked our children if they wanted their neighborhoods, schools, and childhoods hijacked by a new world policy we didn't vote for. Everyone in this world wanted to come to our home for the American experience, uniquely ours and singular in its shared foundation. Our refusal to be dictated to about how our children would be brought up, about what faith we chose to raise them in, with what values we chose to give them, was very appealing. Everyone envied our willingness to each become the one lone patriot that would sacrifice to defend our country. Not in service to a king, not under threat of a dictator, but to honor those that had done so before. To show our unmitigated gratitude for the unmatched courage of those who took the ultimate risk to see this country belong to its citizens and not to an abject ruler who did not care for us. While good people exist throughout the world, they have forgotten their own courage. They have caved to the minions of that insidious force that wants our strength dissolved for their own gain. They have forgotten that in their own country, at some point in their history, there came one lone patriot to fight for their individual heritage. From the unification of China, to the dismantling of the USSR, to Hong Kong's fight for independence today, to Iran's fight to free themselves of the brutal and archaic enemies of freedom. We ended the Second World War. We joined with our allies to eliminate the fascist cabal that so laughed at the notion of freedom, they exterminated millions of men, women, and children. This is who we're still fighting today. These are the same people in a different cloak. When your liberalism no longer serves, when they no longer need to trick you into fighting us while we are fighting them, and you're of no use to them anymore, they will turn on you. They will turn on you like they've turned on us, because you too will one day wake up. You too will see something or hear something that causes the deepest part of you to remember these words, and you'll be forced to stand up. You will find the courage of those who've come before, and you will become that one lone patriot that cannot in good conscience remain silent while wrong is being done. You will, like us, be hurt, then become angry at the malevolent deception they forced upon you by tricking you into thinking they were the good guys. But ask yourself right this very moment, If they were good and they were true, then why are you still fighting injustice at all? If they, who've been in power for so very long, had your voice and your best interests at heart, then why do so many of you still suffer and die? They are the enemies of true humanity, who cannot thrive if every citizen loves their country and will die protecting their countrymen. They can only thrive if we remain willfully blind. One lone patriot is all that it takes to awaken the sleeping masses to their subjugation. In some countries, that subjugation is physical and unrelenting. In others, like our own, it is gilded and twisted by those we trusted. One lone patriot is what we all must become if we're to survive this most devastating attack on our freedoms. The weapons they choose wound not flesh, but trust, hope, and love. The wounds of this war leave deeper scars than shrapnel or shattered bone. We must repel this engineered treachery on the good people of the world. We must stand up as individuals around the world for our own lives. But we must also stand up together, right now, as patriots of the respective lands that we call home. We must stand up for the preservation of our own sovereign liberty, proud of our nation and determined to not allow our histories to be rewritten by those who don't care to preserve it for our children. We must refuse to be shamed for being proud of our heritage. We've all come from different lands. We are all colors, but this land is our home. We must refuse to let the enemy disrespect and dishonor those who were braver than we and risked everything so we could be here right now. Where is that one lone patriot that will be the spark that inspires their countrymen to repel corruption, to repel a deadly new world order, and repel those that'll steal all that we hold dear and laugh as it's destroyed? Will they stand up today? Will they stand up to fight for their country and fight for their independence 244 years after the first American patriots declared their sovereign right to their own lives? That one lone patriot is here, listening to this right now. That one lone patriot is you.